right, that was music to my ears. I don't know about you guys. I have lots of questions, and I hope that our participants also have questions. I'm gonna spotlight. All right, so we have Max and Asali and myself up on the big screen. We have almost 30 participants with us today. So wanting to open the floor to anyone who wants, to ask any questions. If you're a little shy, feel free to type it in the chat and I'll ask it for you, no problem. I have some questions that I'd like to jumpstart the open conversation with. Max, I'm going to start with you. You mentioned a bit on policy and how there was a policy that was in the works in Haiti. And unfortunately, with all the crises that we're managing out here in Haiti, things have been on hold. I would love for you to share with all of us today what you see as being instrumental for cultural bearers in Haiti to be included in that policy. Like what are some of the priorities that you see? I mean, in Haiti, policy is very subjective, just because we have a different relationship with rule of law. But it is important and it should be established. So if you could provide a bit more of insights, what you guys have worked on to include that policy because you really saw it as being a priority.
Yes, Regine, thank you. So yes, when I was in the Ministry of Culture and Communication in Haiti, I worked for the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, which is the organization for the French-speaking people and countries around the world, with more than 80 countries part of that organization. It has a nickname like the little UN, La Petite ONU. So it's a very important organization. So we were working on a bill to offer like a status to Haitian artists so they can live by what they are doing. And it was 3 years ago before the president died. But I believe it's even more important today because actually, as you know, I was in Haiti for a funeral, and then I was in Colombia in Medellin, and I was very inspired. It was my first time over there, and I was very inspired to see how the city and the country use art to fight the violence they had for like centuries, decades maybe. It made me think about Haiti, and I think that the art can help us, change Haiti, based on what we have actually mainly in the capital of Haiti, because I don't want for people to imagine that all Haiti is not safe. It's mainly Port-au-Prince and some areas in Oxbonis and in Plateau Central. But I believe that more than ever, the art can help Haiti to have a renaissance. So that's I believe that the next elect government should prioritize that definitely.
So think about what you need from, let's say, in terms of a backing, in terms of more people advocating on behalf of that for the future in Haiti. And let's keep that within this space so we can see how, as a collective, we can reinforce those efforts. I think New Orleans has a lot of good practices where they've leveraged the arts community to solve some key social issues. I know that Ashe has I'm starting to speak on behalf of you, Asali, and Ashe, you got an ambassador right here. But within the health sector, excuse me. So Asali, if you could share a bit about that, I think it's very relevant for what we're talking about, please.
Yes, absolutely. And you can be my ambassador anytime, Regine, please. If only I was so lucky. But so Ashe has a program that we call I Deserve It. We learn in the course of some other work and doing some health impact assessments that there's a 25-year difference in life expectancy between Black and white New Orleanians, right? And what we learn is that these are not due to genetics or decisions even by individuals. It is more related to the environment and to policy and to the impacts of environment that result from policy. And nobody's working on it. Nobody in the health field, nobody really cared. And additionally, physicians, scientists are not necessarily the most trusted messengers inside of community, right? We have had some very adversarial relationships with healthcare providers, throughout our collective history. And so what we learn is that artists are the more trusted messengers, right? And so we conceptualize a project to train artists as community health workers with a specific training around cultural competency and around trauma-informed care, right? So that they're speaking to our experiences and from our experiences. And after COVID, when all of the disparities were laid bare for everyone, we finally got some support and resources around the project. And now we have 10 artists that work full-time as community health workers and work on zip code level interventions, meaning, the health disparities that we experience are very specific down to the zip code level. And so that is kind of how they do their work and how they collect their data and that kind of thing. And we work with New Orleans East Hospital, which is also a Black-led organization.
Okay, very good, very good. You see, the cultural industries, the cultural sector, the cultural bearers really have unlimited reach and unlimited potential.
yes.
And we really have to think outside of the box to ensure social justice and equity reaches our people without a doubt. So thank you so much for sharing that. I want to go into the monetary side of things. Money, money, money. That's what makes the world go round. So Asali, you shared some very important statistics. You said $1.65 billion for the carnival?
175 billion, 175.
Where did that point come from? Very good. So we need to tap into that. Our people need to tap into that. You said
Big time.
2 to 3% only.
2 to 5%. Yeah, between 2 and 5%, depending on the nation, the year. It varies, but yeah,
that's kind of ridiculous.
But none of those percents
from Haiti. We know how much our culture is part of it, but we also know how easily we devalue culture bearers, how we take them for granted. So this is really a culture that we have to also fight through to properly shed some light on the value added that culture bearers bring to us, and especially if culture is identified as one of Haiti's biggest assets. I mean, you look through the diaspora, which has reached over 1 million in the United States. People are waving their flags, connecting to the food, like really connecting to the surface culture out of pride. Okay, so how can we ensure that all that energy, all the money spent on that actually gets back to the people who created? So I don't know, Asali or Max, I'm sure both of you have some ideas. Could you perhaps shed some light, share some insights on your experiences on different activities that have been done that are successful for streaming those resources to culture bearers?
I might add maybe I met a lot of people who told me that they went to a cruise and then they had a stop in Labadie, and that was the best stop they had in the whole thing. So just to tell you, Eugene, how and it was not like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, even like 2 years ago. It was just last year, even though Haiti had, all that the crisis, but people still, they see beauty to Haiti and the art craft. So I believe that we should empower the people on the ground, the creators, the creative people, so that we should, sometimes we overlook at these people. So we should, I'm not speaking about us, but other organizations, but I think we should go on the ground. We have many talented people on the ground. So we should find a way to offer the people who do arts there some economic possibilities, so which is important, so they can put value in what they are doing, and that can definitely help fight the insecurity. So the gang, instead of having young people join a gang, they could be living with what they are doing and what they have as talent.
Thank you for that. I will join in saying that there's a serious overlooking and devaluing that happens. But I want to be clear that it is not from the people who are making money. They are very well versed in our value. They look at it the same as they look at the timber, the same as they look at the tin in the ground, the cobalt, the water, whatever the natural resources are. They look at Black bodies and Black cultural product as the same thing, something for them to manage and commodify, and replicate and control, right, to their liking. And so I think that when we talk about cultural product, that we have to look at the entirety of systems, and just really to stop overlooking the role of the artist in creating systems. Like if we include artists in the policy discussions, if we include them in decision-making around economic development initiatives, I think those are the spaces where we'll begin to see the kinds of changes and the kind of solution building that lead to changes in society, that lead to the kinds of cultural changes, right? That gives the value that we bring its proper respect, its proper place, and its proper ownership in our own hands. And so I just holistically speaking, to stop looking at Black folks and our cultural product as something for someone else to use and commodify.